This is a story about missionaries. There's Peter and Sister and Patrick and Hung and Chris and Reuben and Tanver. Tanver? Yep. Missionaries can have names we can't pronounce and come from all over the world. Some may be called father or sister. Some won't have any titles. But they all have one thing in common. They are all missionaries, and they are giving their lives to help others.
Padre, y del Hijo, y del Espíritu Santo. Amen.
Now this is also the story about people. Regular people. Working people. People with families trying to survive. These are people with little money, some with little food, most with no jobs, and almost all with no hope. Missionaries, like the Columban Fathers, believe that all people have certain rights. So they go to where there are people who not only need help, but also need hope. In some countries, these people want only to be paid a fair wage for work. In other countries, they just want to have work. And in some places, they don't want to be cheated out of pay or be abused just because they're poor. Missionaries help people to stand up for their rights, to bring justice to them. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't, but just trying brings hope. Above all, missionaries live by the golden rule: do unto others as you would have them do unto you. Here's two young people. This is Peter and Jacob. They live in Pakistan. Here it is, right next to India. Their family is really poor. They're so poor they can't go to school because they have to work to help their families buy food. They will never go to high school. They can't even begin to think about college. And you know how much they earn? 7 cents an hour. That's right, 7 cents an hour. They could work all day and not have enough money to buy a Coke. Where do they work? Well, they work in a brick factory. They make bricks. In fact, their whole family works at the brickyard. One person mixes the clay for the bricks. Another hauls the clay to the parents who put the clay in a brick form, and still another turns them over for the son to bake. They do this day after day, week after week, and still they don't make enough money to live. And if they get sick, well, then they don't eat. Now this missionary is Columban Father Tanver O'Hanlon. He's from Ireland, and he's been in Pakistan for many years. He's learned the language and has gotten to know the people. He meets them in the marketplace. He comes to their home for tea. The whole neighborhood joins in, and they play music and talk and discuss what can be done. Father Tanver knows the people are very poor, and there's very little that he can do about it. But that doesn't mean he can't help them to a better life. He's with the poor in the town square and in their homes. They've even begun talking about building a school. That would help the young people get an education and have a chance at better jobs. Now here's some more young people. They live in Taiwan. It's an island near China. These are kids who have developmental disabilities. Sometimes these kids are kept hidden from others. They might live in the back room of an apartment or house. Columban missionary Pat O'Byrne knew that these kids were at risk. They are helpless and are the most vulnerable part of society. These are the people that need justice. That's why Father Pat is at this school, a school to get the kids out and playing and working. Father Pat knew a school would help these kids to be the best they could possibly be. That's justice. This is the Golden Rule in action.
This is my body, which will be given up for you.
Around the world, missionaries are reaching out. like Columban missionary Father Hung. Father Hung is from Vietnam, and he has found himself helping migrant workers in Taiwan.
The media has been looking for this information, for this kind of information.
The workers feel they have been cheated out of overtime pay. What can they do? They have no resources and are working just to send money back home. Father Hung studied the law and found that the workers do have rights under Taiwanese law, but they must stand up for what they believe. So Father Hung took the workers to the government offices to file a complaint. Sometimes the officials listen, sometimes they don't, but Father Hung never gives up when he sees rights being violated.
And so the 2 fingers were chopped off.
Yeah, the 2 fingers.
Here's another missionary. Columban missionary Father Peter O'Neill is helping a worker who has been hurt and disfigured. This migrant worker is far from home and needs the help of someone who cares.
We're from many different countries.
And this is Chris, a Columban lay missionary from California. She's helping Indonesian workers to learn English.
Family is Chinese.
You take me
And this sister helps people in Appalachia.
with some glasses. Okay, I'll be back someday next week and we'll find out where it is and we'll make an appointment to go.
Missionaries believe everyone has basic human rights. They have seen how badly the poor around the world have been treated. Missionaries look for ways to bring justice to the poor, to stand up for them, to help them to a better life. You never know when someone might need help. The question is, how would you like to be treated? That's how to treat others. It just doesn't apply to missionaries, but to every baptized person. It just doesn't apply to other countries, but it applies to your own city, home, and classroom. You can be a missionary right now, right where you are. How? Think of the Golden Rule. This is the story of missionaries. Their names are many. There's Peter and Chris and Patrick and Denny. From countries afar, around the world they come. From the U.S. and Australia, Ireland and Vietnam. Their work is hard. A foreign language they must talk. But harder than that, they must walk the good walk. They bring help to the people oppressed. There are many, many problems that must be addressed. This is the story of missionaries fighting the good fight. Their life is a journey trying to do right. Missionaries talk about rights, justice, and a rule made of gold. To change the world, people must stand up and be bold.